I had listened to radio station WGRV in my hometown of Greenville, Tennessee all my life and had an interest in radio. And my mother, through a lady she worked with at what was then United Fund, now United Way, got me an audition. And this is back during the Vietnam War era, and I read stories out of the newspaper as a part of that audition, and there were Vietnamese words in there, names, and I pronounced them correctly, so I apparently got somebody's attention at the radio station and got a job when I was 15 years old. I couldn't even drive a car. My mother had to take me back and forth to work, and my first permanent slots on that radio station were 6 to midnight on Saturday night and Sunday night. I had rock and roll shows, but the first thing I had to do before those rock and roll shows started was a local newscast. So I would come in the middle of the afternoon, and this was before fax machines. I had to call all 3 of the funeral homes in Greenville and have them read me the obituaries over the phone. I'd take those down in longhand and then type them up for the news. One of the great things about working in radio back then was the fact that you were so connected to your community. I couldn't think of a better job for a teenager back then than working in small town AM radio. We were so connected to Greenville and Greene County. On Saturday mornings, we read every real estate transfer on the air. Long before the age of HIPAA, every day we read every hospital admission and every hospital discharge. We read every new birth on the air. So it was radio that was intimately connected to the people around it. Mm-hmm. And as far as the business goes, how that's changed, when I first started working in radio at the age of 15, editing audio meant, first of all, the use of reel-to-reel recorders and a razor blade. And now, of course, we do that all digitally. I grew up in Greene County around people who talked about food all the time. Farmers, gardeners, dairy farmers, people who ran beef cattle operations. My grandparents, my parents talked constantly about what they were going to plant. It was always that never-ending cycle. So I grew up with an appreciation of people who were close to the land, who enjoyed the bounty of the land. And now, in terms of the local food movement, the language you hear nowadays, like farm to table and sustainability, those are things we've been doing in Appalachia for a long, long time. And it's interesting to see those practices now become sort of trendy when they've existed in this part of the country for a long, long time. One of the reasons I could perform the public relations work well here at ETSU is the fact that I had worked in the media. I had worked in radio. I had worked in television. I understood how reporters think. I enjoy interacting with reporters. I love the newsroom environment. I love the pressure of a newsroom. So I'm very proud of the relationships that we were able to develop in that office with reporters in this market, and those relationships continue to this day. We understood each other, and even when we had to work on very difficult stories, they knew my boundaries, I knew their goals, and it was a situation of mutual respect, and I thrived on that. I am very fortunate, having been in this community so long and having been affiliated with ETSU since 1976. That was the year I stepped onto this campus as a student. And I've come to gain a richer and a deeper respect for this region and the people of this region as time has gone by. I have an unending curiosity about people. When I meet someone, I want to hear that person's story. And you were talking about commencement a while ago. Every student who crosses that stage at ETSU has a story, and it's been interesting over the years to learn those stories and help promote those stories, which speak of the region. On commencement day, Dr. Nolan always asks people who are the first in their families to graduate from college to stand up. And you would be amazed at the number of first-generation college students that we graduate here at ETSU. That's one of the ways that our impact on this region and this community is so clear on those Saturday mornings and afternoons when those students stand up and everybody in the dome applauds. That shows the impact this place has had on the region, and I am so lucky to have been a part of it for so long. And in partial retirement, it has continued to make a place for me. It's just been a really special place, and I couldn't imagine living anywhere else or working anywhere else. Some people my age have aspirations of moving to Florida. I would never move to Florida. I always want to be here. I always want to be in a place where I can enjoy all 4 seasons of the year, and in East Tennessee, sometimes they all occur in one day. I hope that people will remember the stories that I've been able to tell here on campus and in the regional media about people. In terms of food, people who have worked long and hard all their lives with very little recognition, running barbecue joints like the Ridgewood, for example. That's hard work. Any restaurant job is hard work. It's challenging work. It's risky work. And so many people around here do it successfully, but they do it without calling a lot of attention to themselves. And I've been fortunate enough through the outlets I have access to be able to tell their stories and to honor them and the work they do.